Full time at St Mary's. It's Southampton 0, Arsenal 5. That was a lot easier than I expected it to be, especially after seeing the starting lineup. I should introduce Dave the dog, by the way, who I've mentioned on the Arsecast before, who I'm looking after at the moment. He watched the game with me live. He'll be providing his thoughts intermittently on the spectacle. He doesn't seem that interested. I don't think he has really any concept of what YouTube is, or maybe he does and is showing apt disregard for it. Anyway, really exciting game. I mean, I worried when I saw the starting 11, very unfamiliar, but fortunately Southampton's was too. And to be honest, they threw this game, and they didn't need to. They played a very understrength side, and those who were picked didn't perform. Arsenal used plenty of squad players, but what we saw really was the strength in depth that Arsenal have at their disposal. Even on the bench, with Arsene Wenger up in the stands, Steve Bold did perfectly fine on the touchline. Got to start with Danny Welbeck, I guess, who started his first game since May last year and scored 2 goals in the first 22 minutes. Both brilliant finishes. The first after an ingenious flick pass from Lucas Perez, and the next from a great ball from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I mean, they would be good goals anyway. To do that, having just returned from injury, is particularly impressive. And Welbeck is a phenomenal athlete. He seems to possess this ability to hit the ground running. Bear in mind, he's played no minutes for the under-23s, no behind-closed-doors friendlies. It's incredible, isn't it, Dave? I think that speaks for itself. So he's a great addition to have back in the squad, and hopefully he'll be a really good option between now and May. So that put Arsenal 2-0 up. Shortly afterwards, I'm trying to think what happened. Went 3-0. Theo Walcott was so lethal today. You know, he scored a hat-trick. I mean, it's funny, we talk about Welbeck straight away. Theo Walcott scored a hat-trick that took him to 99 goals for the club. And it seems mad to think that he could reach 100 soon. A player who's been very divisive in his Arsenal career, but is having a fantastic season. And I actually think his absence hasn't really been talked about enough. And I think that now that he's back, it was so great to see him and Alexis combining late on in the game. A couple of assists for the Chilean having come off the bench. I think that axis, that partnership between those two is what will mean that we see Olivier Giroud, despite his good form, go back to the bench sooner rather than later. I think Alexis will start as centre-forward against Chelsea. I hope he does. Because as good as Giroud's been, it was brilliant watching that mobile front three, the pace of Walcott and Welbeck. And Lucas, who was so unfortunate not to score today. He was excellent in every other regard. Really, really good performance from him. I was surprised he actually started the game as the number 9, but we saw why fairly swiftly, because he's so intelligent in the final third. That brilliant pass for Welbeck, but there were other moments like that. His reading of the game is so good. His movement is so good. I mean, it's crazy that he's not getting more games, but that's the wealth of options Arsenal have in attacking areas. He probably deserves to play more, but he probably won't. That's the reality, especially with goals for Welbeck and Walcott today. But Arsenal have more strength in depth up front now than they have done for several years. And maybe they've got another option in central midfield too, because Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain played there today. With Aaron Ramsey and Francis Coquelin, the only obvious fit senior central midfielders in the squad. Arsene Wenger rotated heavily there, took a few gambles. He played with a 3-pronged, double-barrelled midfield. So you had Oxlade-Chamberlain alongside Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Jeff Adelaide ahead of them. And, I mean, the 2 youngsters acquitted themselves very well, but Oxlade-Chamberlain was outstanding. Some brilliant passing from him, particularly from deep. And just a great display of his vision and technique. And when you think about him, some of his best games for Arsenal have been as a central midfielder. Maybe that is the future for him. Arsene Wenger's long said so. Maybe we're seeing why he might be right about that. Anyway, all in all, a very, very comfortable afternoon. Much more so than I expected. And we go on in the Cup. And with 2 massive league games next week, it's just what we needed. So welcome back, Danny Welbeck. Congratulations, Theo Walcott. I'll see you in the next round. Cheers. Bye-bye.